So what I'm saying, the total investment is more. See, if we want to do rework, we have to invest a lot, right? That will cause the rework. See, if we find any defects in some phase, we need to change. In the testing phase, found some defect, right? Before earlier we discussed, right? Found some defects. Accordingly, we have to change the code. So here, developers should work on that. So that is it. And again, the designers will change the documents. That is also rework. So we have to change requirements. We have to correct the requirements. That is also rework. So whenever you do some rework, the cost will be more. So that is the another disadvantage of waterfall model. And the last one is testing will start after coding. So what does that mean? So we have only one phase of testing. So after completion of three phases, I mean, we have testing phase, right? We have testing phase. If we have find any defects in the testing phase, accordingly we change the code and we have changed the implementation. And we have to change the design and we have to change the requirements. So we have only one phase of testing phase here. So we don't have different phases of testing. So the chances of bugs will be more. So that's why this is very old and traditional model the companies are following. So initial days of IT industry started a long back. Okay, now based on these drawbacks, the new models are coming in the market. If you see disadvantage of first point, okay, first point requirement changes are not allowed, right? Because if the customer given some requirement in the middle of the process, the customer come back and ask us to change the requirement, they make you some new requirement. Okay, these changes are commonly there. We should able to accommodate those changes in the software, right? And here we have only one phase of testing. If you find any defects in the previous phases, that will continue to the next phases. So that is also again the biggest problem. So to overcome this particular problem, we have another model called spiral model, which is also called iterative model. So this is spiral model. Okay. See spiral model. See what is spiral model looks like, and let me just see. It is visible, right? This is a picture of that spiral model. So let us try to understand how the spiral model works. And again, spiral model having number of advantages and disadvantages. Okay. So to overcome the problems from or to overcome the drawbacks from waterfall model, spiral model is implemented. So now look at this picture. It seems very similar to spiral shape. So let us understand how the spiral model works and then we will discuss about advantages and disadvantages. So here there are some terminologies like risk analysis and engineering and execution and evaluation and planning. Okay, so these are normal terms like requirement analysis. Okay, planning is nothing but requirement analysis. I mean, planning and risk analysis both are requirement analysis. So, engineering and execution means designing, coding, and evaluation means testing. So, it is the same. Here, planning means requirement analysis. Risk analysis is also requirement analysis. Both are same. And how much risk is involved, how many developers required, how many testers are required, we will analyze in detail in engineering and execution. It is nothing but design and development phase. Evaluation is nothing but testing. Okay. So here again SDLC process will be same. Okay. And SDLC we already know that what is the requirement and what is designing and development and execution. So all we already discuss. So once again we'll discuss what is that. Just give 1 minute. So planning requirement analysis means what? So product owner or BA analyst, I mean business analyst collected all information from the customer or client to develop a software as per the customer expectations, right? And here already once the requirements are clear, then the project planning will start. So in this planning stage, uh, 5 points considered, right? And after that 5 points, project designing will start. Once we get the requirement from the client, the designers will start designing the software. And after completion of designing part, developers start developing the software or code by using different languages. For example, SQL, Java, Python, .NET, C, C++. And after completion of development, before deliver the product to the client, we start testing. So we have different types of testings like system testing, UAT testing, integration testing, so sanity testing, smoke testing. There are number of testings are there. And once the completion of testing phase, before to deliver the product to the client, testing the software by using user acceptance testing, and it is done in production environment. Okay. And after testing the software, we deliver the product to the client and deploy the software in the customer environment and they start using. So is this everything clear?
Yes, it's clear.
But what you need to say here spiral model and mm, see, for example, BA collected all information from the customer, okay, to develop a software. Here, the first phase, right? Here, get all information from the client and they start develop the product as per the customer expectations. And after that, okay, the designing part will start. And after that, this will start. So this is the first version. Okay. For example, uh, the client give 10 modules. For example, if you take, say, client came and asking about to develop a one application. So one application is called, for example, I'll take web applications. Web applications, there are some 100 modules. In that, for example, they gave 5 modules. Okay, 5 modules and uh, what we need to do that 5 modules we develop in the first version and second and again we updated. Okay, so again we taking the requirements and we collect the requirements and we implement the documents and next the designing part will start and next what the development will start and the testing phase will start and this is the second one and next what is that this the client will give 10 modules. Okay. And I can select the information and the requirements and we implement the documents and we started designing and development and phase. Okay. And this is third version. I can say okay, this keep on continue. And this is fourth. So what I'm meaning, if you see that spiral model is iterative model. The spiral model overcome drawbacks of waterfall model. We follow spiral model whenever there is dependency on the modules. Exactly right. Always dependency on previous module. If you take a Gmail application, for example, inbox, trash, outbox, and 2, 3 modules are there. And next phase, in a second version, they give some another modules like 10 modules. So that 10 modules is dependency on previous 5 modules. So that is the meaning of that. Whenever there is dependency on the modules, in every cycle, new software will be released customer. So software will be released in multiple versions. So it is called version control model. And see advantages of advantages and disadvantages of spiral model. What is the first point? Testing is done in every cycle before going to the next cycle, right? In the first phase, testing phase will be involved, right? And if we started and second phase, testing phase is also involved. In the third phase, testing phase is also involved. That is the meaning of that point. Testing is done in every cycle before going to the next cycle. And what is the second point? Customer will get to use the software for every module. Okay. So we again and again the software will use for every module. And requirement changes are allowed after every cycle before going to the next cycle. Yes, in every cycle, we have a chance. We have, we can accommodate the requirement changes in each and every cycle. There are multiple cycles, right? If you see that image, what is it? Um, First phase, we take what we have taken like 5 modules, right? 5 modules. In that 5 modules, if we do some mistakes in the next phase, we can do the correction. And in third phase also, in fourth phase also. So that is the point of that, meaning requirement changes are allowed after every cycle before going to the next cycle. And what is the disadvantage of spiral model? So requirement changes are not allowed in between the cycle. So there is only one testing phase here. So first we do a planning, risk analysis, and designing and coding. After that only we can do testing. So in between that, we can't do anything. So requirement changes are not allowed in between the cycle. If we want to do anything after development only, we can do testing. And every cycle of spiral model looks like waterfall model. Of course, there are same phases of that, and there is no testing in requirement and designing phase. Correct, right? Is there any testing phase in planning, risk analysis, engineering, and execution? No, right? So after that only there is one testing phase that is called evaluation. So if you want to do anything, only or after engineering and execution, we can do evaluation. So in every cycle, we have only one testing phase. And next model is V model. Let me show the document. Hmm. This is prototype model, and first we will discuss about V model. Okay, V model and what is verification and validation, HLD, LLD, static, dynamic. So all we will discuss in the tomorrow session. Is it clear everything?
It is clear.
Yeah. So Kiran, are you there?
Yes, I'm getting it.
Yeah. So we will discuss more detail and about the V model and prototype model is nothing but just a small information will I will give, and it is not important as much waterfall model and spiral model. But as per knowledge, we need to understand what is prototype, and V model is very important. And later we will discuss in further sessions agile methodology. So okay, we'll see tomorrow.
Yes. So
Yeah,
one
okay,
question
fine.
over here related to the spiral model.
Spiral
So do
model.
we have any, yeah, yeah, do we have any fixed timeline to complete any task. Like in Agile, we have 2 weeks or 1 month sprint, right? So it works on sprint
Yeah,
basis. Yeah. So in
yeah.
Spiral, do we have some timelines to complete the as in deliver the project to the client,
See,
like in any releases?
yeah, there is no here there is no timeline. Actually, they fix the own timeline. Okay. So if you take a waterfall model, and previously I have worked on waterfall model, right? And one phase. So that complete phase, we need to complete in 1 year. So 1 year there is a fixed time. We need to give an input, and we need to develop on that things. So that is one phase, one complete phase we need to complete in 1 year, and next phase we need to complete in another year. So there are 3 years project. Okay, in three phases we have to complete the complete project. So that is the thing, and that is same kind of a spiral model. So spiral model also the client decision and BA decisions. Okay, so if the first phase, if they want to complete in 6 months, we need to complete that. Okay, and in next phase, if they want to complete in 3 months or 6 months or 8 months or 1 year, so we have to do that. And third phase, so they fix the timeline. And if you go through with agile methodology, they agile method fix the timeline like 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, this is like this. Okay, so what I'm saying, and now in IT companies, spiral model, nobody uses this spiral model because very long-term project. Okay, so and there is no requirement changes. Now clients want to requirement changes frequently. So if they want to change anything, they have to. Okay, we should do that. But waterfall model, spiral model, and V model doesn't support that, doesn't allow that. So that is one of the biggest drawback. So IT companies not chooses these models. So everybody go through with agile methodology, and timeline also one of the drawback. So it is a long-term project, like if they want to develop 5 or 10 modules in 1 year, is this fair? Not fair, right? So this is a very time dealing process. So that's why nobody uses these models right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, IT companies are using agile model, right?
Yes, agile model. And we'll discuss in further session agile methodology and what are the phases are there. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Rajesh, clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. So tomorrow again, okay, we'll meet and we'll see what are the next topics, and I'll update in group.
Okay.
Keep in touch.
Yes.